The silence in the penthouse was heavier than the marble table I was leaning against. My heart wasn't just beating, it was slamming against my ribs like a trapped bird, frantic and desperate. In my trembling hand, I held the document, a single sheet of cream-colored paper that weighed more than my entire life. Project Icarus, Asset Liquidation and Transfer of Liability. And there, at the bottom, highlighted in yellow, was the name of the person designated to take the fall. The person who would go to prison for 10 years, while Sterling Thorne flew away to the Cayman Islands with millions. It wasn't a random name, it was my name, Serafina Vance. I heard the bathroom door click open down the hall. Steam billowed out, carrying the scent of sandalwood and expensive deception. Sterling was humming. He was humming a jazz tune, drying his hair, walking toward the bedroom where he thought his loving, foolish girlfriend was waiting for him in silk. I had 10 seconds, maybe less. If I put the paper back, I was a prisoner of a future I hadn't chosen. If I took it, I was declaring war against the most dangerous man in the city. The floorboards creaked. He was coming. To understand how I ended up freezing in terror in a multi-million-dollar penthouse, clutching my own death warrant, you have to understand where I started. 6 months ago, I was invisible. I was 42 years old, freshly divorced, and wearing a coat that had seen better decades. My ex-husband, a man whose ambition was as small as his empathy, had left me for a yoga instructor named Kaylee who spelled her name with a heart over the I. He took the savings, the car, and my self-esteem. I was left with a crushing mortgage and a resume that had a 15-year gap labeled housewife and mother. When I applied for the position of executive assistant at Obsidian Holdings, I didn't expect a call back. Obsidian wasn't just a company, it was a kingdom. It occupied the top 10 floors of the darkest, sleekest skyscraper in the financial district. But they called, and when I walked into that interview, I felt like a mouse entering a cathedral dedicated to predators. The office smelled of cold air conditioning, leather, and fear. The receptionist, a stunning girl named Bianca, who looked like she was carved out of ice, didn't even look up as she pointed me toward the double mahogany doors. "He's in a mood," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Good luck. You're the 5th candidate today. 2 left crying." I straightened my blazer, a thrift store find that I had carefully steamed, and pushed the doors open. Sterling Thorne sat behind a desk that looked like it was cut from a single block of black glass. He didn't look up. He was writing something with a fountain pen, the scratching sound loud in the cavernous room. "Sit," he commanded. His voice was a low baritone, smooth but with a jagged edge, like velvet wrapped around a razor blade. I sat. The chair was too low. I realized instantly it was a psychological trick. He wanted everyone to look up at him. Finally, he capped his pen. The click echoed like a gunshot. He looked at me. Sterling was devastating. That's the only word. He had hair the color of midnight, silver at the temples, and eyes that were a piercing, unnatural shade of gray. He was beautiful in the way a thunderstorm is beautiful. You can't look away, even though you know it can destroy you. Serafina Vance, he read from my resume, holding it by the corner as if it were contaminated. No corporate experience for 15 years. A degree in art history from 2 decades ago? Why are you wasting my time, Miss Vance? My throat went dry. The old me would have apologized and left, but the new me, the one staring at foreclosure notices, had nothing left to lose. "Because," I said, my voice shaking only slightly, "I have raised 3 children, managed a household on a shrinking budget, and organized charity galas for 500 people with 0 warning. I don't need sleep, I don't have a social life to distract me, and unlike the 20-year-olds you hire, I won't cry when you yell. I need this job, Mr. Thorne, which means I will work harder than anyone else to keep it." He stared at me. The silence stretched for an eternity. I could hear the hum of the server room next door. I could hear my own pulse in my ears. Then, the corner of his mouth twitched, a microscopic smile. "You start tomorrow at 6 a.m. If you are 1 minute late, don't bother coming in." The first 3 months were hell. There is no other way to describe it. Sterling Thorne was not a boss, he was a tyrant. He demanded perfection in a world that was inherently imperfect. He wanted his coffee at exactly 180 degrees. If a document had a single typo, he would shred it, literally tear it into pieces, and let the confetti fall onto my desk without saying a word. I worked 14-hour days. My heels blistered my feet. My eyes burned from staring at spreadsheets I barely understood at first. But I learned. Oh, how I learned. I learned to anticipate his needs before he articulated them. I learned that when he tapped his ring finger on the desk, a merger was failing. I learned that when he loosened his tie, he was about to fire someone. I became indispensable, and I became invisible to everyone else. The other employees, Genevieve from HR, Juliana from marketing, they looked at me with pity. "He's going to break you, Serafina," Genevieve whispered to me one day in the break room, pouring hot water into her tea. She was a kind woman, nearing 60, who had seen assistants come and go. Sterling consumes people. He takes everything they have and then discards the husk. "I can handle him," I said, stirring my 4th coffee of the day. "I need the money, Genevieve." "Just be careful," she warned, looking over her shoulder. "There are rumors about the last assistant. She didn't just get fired. She disappeared from the industry entirely. Legal trouble." I brushed it off. I was too tired for rumors. But then, the atmosphere shifted. It was late October. A torrential rainstorm was battering the city, turning the windows of the 50th floor into waterfalls. It was 9:30 p.m. Everyone else had gone home hours ago. I was still typing, finalizing the quarterly reports for the board meeting. My back ached, and I had a headache that felt like a nail being driven into my temple. The door to Sterling's office opened. I froze, waiting for a reprimand, waiting for him to tell me the font size was wrong or the paper stock was too cheap. Instead, he walked over to my desk. He was in his shirt sleeves, his tie undone, hanging loosely around his neck. He looked tired, human. "Serafina," he said softly. It was the first time he had used my first name without a title or a sneer. "Yes, Mr. Thorne?" I didn't look up, fingers hovering over the keyboard. "Stop." I looked up then. He was standing right in front of my desk, leaning against the edge. The smell of him, rain, expensive tobacco, and sandalwood washed over me. "You've been here since 6 this morning," he said. His gray eyes weren't cold anymore. They were dark, swimming with something unreadable. "You haven't eaten." "I have an apple in my bag," I stammered, feeling a sudden flush of heat creep up my neck. "An apple is not dinner." He reached out and, with a finger that felt electric, gently closed my laptop. "Get your coat. We're going to dinner." "Mr. Thorne, I can't. The report." "The report can wait. The creator of the report cannot starve." That dinner changed everything. We went to a small, dimly lit Italian restaurant tucked away in a basement, a place with no sign, just a heavy oak door. The waiter knew him by name. Sterling didn't talk about work. He asked about me. He asked about my children, about my divorce, about my love for art history. He listened with an intensity that was intoxicating. For a woman who had been ignored by her husband for a decade, having the full attention of a powerful, charismatic man was like drinking champagne on an empty stomach. It went straight to my head. "You're wasted as an assistant, Serafina," he said, swirling his red wine. The candlelight caught the silver in his hair. "You have a sharp mind. You see patterns others miss. My ex-wives. They never understood the weight of what I do, but you see it." "I just do my job," I whispered, feeling like a teenager on a first date. "You do more than that. You bring order to my chaos." He reached across the table and covered my hand with his. His palm was warm, rougher than I expected. "I need you, Serafina, not just to type letters." My heart skipped a beat, then two. From that night on, the tyrant vanished. In his place was a mentor, a protector, and a lover. It happened slowly, then all at once. Late nights at the office turned into late nights at his penthouse. The business trips to Paris and Milan became romantic getaways disguised as work. He bought me clothes, elegant, tailored suits that cost more than my car. He paid off my mortgage. He moved me into a luxury apartment closer to the office. "I want you to be comfortable," he murmured, kissing my neck as we stood on the balcony of his penthouse, overlooking the city lights. "I want you to have everything you deserve." I fell in love, deeply, stupidly, blindly. I thought I was living a fairy tale. I thought I was the exception to the rule. I thought I had tamed the beast. But fairy tales usually have a witch, a curse, or a poisoned apple. In my case, the poison was ink on paper. The first crack in the illusion appeared 3 months into our romance. I was promoted, Director of Special Operations. It was a vague title with a massive salary raise. "I need someone I trust to handle the offshore accounts," Sterling explained one morning, handing me a heavy stamp with my signature on it. "These are sensitive assets. Obsidian is expanding into volatile markets. I can't trust the board. They are leeches. I only trust you." He made it sound like us against the world, Bonnie and Clyde in business suits. "You just need to authorize the transfers," he said, kissing my forehead. "I'll handle the strategy, you handle the execution." I signed document after document. I authorized transfers of millions of dollars to shell companies with names like Aurora Holdings and Nebula Corp. I didn't question it. Why would I? He loved me, he was planning our future, he had even hinted at a ring. But then Genevieve from HR came to see me. It was a Tuesday. Sterling was out at a lunch meeting. Genevieve knocked on my glass door, looking pale. She closed the blinds behind her. "Serafina," she whispered, her hands shaking as she held a file. "I shouldn't be here. If he finds out—" "What is it, Jen?" I asked. I was busy transferring $2 million to an account in the Cayman Islands. "I found something. I was auditing the old personnel files. The girl before you, Vanessa, the one who disappeared? She didn't disappear, Serafina. She's in federal prison." The room went cold. "What?" "Embezzlement," Genevieve said, sliding a news clipping across my desk. It was from a small, local paper, barely a blip on the radar. Assistant sentenced to 8 years for corporate theft. She claimed she was innocent. She claimed her boss told her to sign everything. She claimed she was framed. I stared at the photo. Vanessa looked young, terrified, and she was wearing a necklace, a distinctive diamond pendant. My hand flew to my throat. I was wearing the exact same necklace. Sterling had given it to me for Christmas. "It's a coincidence," I said, my voice high and brittle. "Sterling is a difficult man, but he's not a monster. He loves me." Genevieve looked at me with such profound sadness that I wanted to scream. "He loved Vanessa too, Serafina. Please, just look at what you're signing." I kicked her out. I told her she was jealous. I told her to get back to work. 2 days later, Genevieve was fired. Security escorted her out for leaking confidential data. Sterling told me over dinner that night, cutting his steak with surgical precision. She was a spy, darling. Corporate espionage. I did it to protect us. I nodded, sipping my wine, but the wine tasted like vinegar.
And when he smiled at me, for the first time, I didn't see love. I saw teeth. Paranoia is a slow-acting poison. Once it's in your system, it infects everything. I started looking, really looking. I noticed that Sterling never signed the transfer orders. Only I did. I noticed that the Special Operations Division didn't have any other employees, just me. I noticed that the shell companies we were sending money to didn't have websites. They were ghosts. The micro-conflicts in my mind were constant. He loves me, my heart would scream when he brought me breakfast in bed. He is using you, my brain would whisper when he guided my hand to sign another check. The breaking point came yesterday. Sterling left his phone on the kitchen island while he went to shower. It buzzed, a message. Usually, I would never snoop, but the fear was eating me alive. I glanced at the screen. It was a text from Legal Blackwood. Text: "The Patsy is fully implicated. When do we trigger the audit?" I felt like I had been punched in the gut. Patsy. I unlocked his phone. I knew the passcode. He had given it to me to show trust. It was his birthday. I scrolled up. Not yet. I need her to sign the liability release for the Switzerland merger. Then we flush her. Make sure the assets are in her name. If the SEC investigates, it needs to look like a rogue employee acting alone. It's already done. She signs anything I put in front of her. She's desperate for affection. It was too easy. Too easy. The words blurred. My knees gave out, and I had to grab the counter to stop from falling. The love, the dinners, the clothes, the mortgage payments, it wasn't generosity. It was an investment. He was fattening the pig before the slaughter. He was stealing millions from the company, and he had built a paper trail that led directly and exclusively to me. I was going to prison. He was going to be a billionaire. I heard the shower stop. Panic, pure animalistic panic. I put the phone back exactly where it was. I forced myself to breathe. I forced a smile onto my face. When we walked into the kitchen, wrapped in a towel, I was chopping strawberries. "Morning, beautiful," he said, kissing my cheek. I repressed the urge to stab him with the paring knife. "Morning, darling. I have a surprise for you," he said, grinning. "Tonight, I'm taking you to the penthouse. I have some documents for the Switzerland deal, and then a special celebration." The celebration of my destruction. That brings us back to the cold open, to this moment. I am in the penthouse. It is raining again. Sterling is in the shower. He takes 2 a day, obsessed with cleanliness, while his soul is filthy. I had feigned a headache to stay in the study while he got ready. I started tearing the room apart. I needed insurance. I needed something that proved he was the mastermind. I found the hidden safe behind the painting of the ship in the storm. I guessed the combination, 000, because arrogance makes people sloppy. He didn't think anyone would ever dare look. Inside was the folder, Project Icarus. It detailed everything: his plan to bankrupt Obsidian Holdings, the fake accounts, and the narrative he had constructed for the police. Serafina Vance, a disgruntled, debt-ridden divorcee, manipulated her way into the CEO's bed to steal company funds. It was perfect. It was evil. I hear the footsteps. He is coming. I shove the document down the front of my silk blouse, pressing it against my skin. It crinkles slightly. I pray the thunder covers the sound. Sterling walks in. He is wearing a tuxedo. He looks like a prince. He looks like Satan. "Ready, my love?" he asks, extending a hand. I look at his hand. I see the invisible blood on it. I take it. Ready. The drive to the celebration is a blur. He takes me to a private airfield. A jet is waiting. "Where are we going?" I ask, clutching my purse where I have transferred the document. "A surprise," he says. My phone buzzes in my pocket. It's a text from an unknown number. Police are raiding the office in 20 minutes. It must be Genevieve. She must have been watching. If I get on that plane, I disappear. Or worse, the plane lands in a non-extradition country where he leaves me. Or perhaps I have a tragic accident over the ocean. We pull up to the tarmac. The engines are whining. The smell of jet fuel is overpowering. "Come," Sterling says, his grip on my arm tightening. It's not a lover's touch anymore. It's a captor's grip. "Sterling," I say, stopping by the car door. The wind whips my hair across my face. "Serafina, we have a schedule. Move!" The mask slips. The tyrant is back. "I know," I say. The words are barely a whisper. "What did you say?" He stops, turning to look at me with those cold, gray eyes. I said, "I know. About Project Icarus. About Vanessa. About the fact that you think I'm a patsy." The color drains from his face. For the first time ever, Sterling Thorne looks genuinely shocked. "Don't be ridiculous. You're hysterical." "And you," I say, my voice gaining strength, fueled by the rage of every woman who has ever been underestimated, "are under arrest." He laughs, a cruel, barking laugh. "Arrest? Who is going to arrest me? I own this city. You are nobody, Serafina. You are a middle-aged secretary with a mountain of debt and my signature on every illegal transfer. You are going to jail, and I am going to watch from a beach. Not your signature," I say. He pauses. "What?" "The documents," I say, stepping back as sirens begin to wail in the distance. Blue and red lights reflect off the wet tarmac. "The Switzerland documents, the Cayman transfers. I didn't sign them with my name." His eyes widen. "I saw you sign them. You saw me stamp them, but 2 months ago, I lost the stamp you gave me. Or I told you I did. I had a new one made. It looks identical." "So?" he snarls, grabbing my shoulders. "It's still your signature." "No, Sterling," I whisper, looking deep into his panicked eyes. "I had the stamp maker change the ink and the microscopic lettering in the loop of the S. It doesn't say Serafina Vance. It says, under duress, ST. He freezes. "And," I continue, pulling the Project Icarus file from my purse, "I have your master plan in your handwriting, which I found in your safe." The sirens are loud now. Police cars are swarming the tarmac like angry hornets. Sterling looks at the approaching cars, then at the plane, then at me. He realizes it's over. The plane engines are powering down. The pilot has seen the police. "You bitch," he hisses. "I made you. I gave you everything." "You gave me nothing," I scream, the tears finally spilling over. "You gave me a cage and called it a palace. You used my vulnerability against me. You thought because I was older, because I was lonely, because I was just a housewife, that I was stupid, but you forgot one thing, Sterling." He is backing away, but officers are running toward us, guns drawn. "What?" he spits. "I raised 3 teenagers," I say, a cold smile touching my lips. I know when someone is lying to my face. The next few hours were a chaotic blur of flashing lights, handcuffs, and statements.
They arrested Sterling on the tarmac. He didn't go quietly. He screamed threats. He fired his lawyers via phone while being shoved into a squad car. He looked at me one last time, a look of pure, unadulterated hatred. I stood there, wrapped in a blanket an officer had given me, watching his empire crumble. The Project Icarus document was the nail in his coffin. Combined with Genevieve's testimony, yes, she had been working with the FBI for weeks, and the recordings I had started making on my phone 3 days ago, there was no escape for him. The under duress stamp was a lie. I had made that up on the spot to stall him, to make him panic. But it worked. It broke his composure enough for the police to arrive. The investigation took months. It was grueling. I had to testify. I had to admit to the world that I had been seduced and fooled. It was humiliating. The press called me the dupe of the decade. But I didn't go to prison. Because I cooperated and because the evidence clearly showed I was a victim of a sophisticated framing scheme, I was granted immunity. Obsidian Holdings collapsed. The board was dissolved. But here is the real ending. 6 months later, I am sitting in a small coffee shop. The sun is shining. I am wearing jeans and a simple sweater. I don't wear the expensive suits anymore. I sold the jewelry, the clothes, everything he gave me, and donated the money to a legal defense fund for women wrongfully accused of corporate crimes. The door opens. Genevieve walks in. She looks great. She's smiling. "Ready for the interview?" she asks. "Ready," I say. We aren't working for a corporation. We started our own consultancy, Vance & Associates, Corporate Ethics and Employee Advocacy. We help employees who are being exploited, harassed, or set up by their superiors. We are small. We don't have a skyscraper, but we have dignity. I sip my coffee. It's cheap, slightly burnt, and tastes like freedom. Sometimes, late at night, I still wake up sweating, smelling sandalwood and rain. I still feel the ghost of his touch. The trauma of loving a monster doesn't vanish overnight. It lingers, it hurts. But then I remember the look on his face when he realized the invisible woman had seen right through him. I remember that I am not just a housewife. I am not just a divorcee. I am the woman who took down Sterling Thorne, and that is a title I will wear with pride. My dear friends, writing this story was incredibly difficult for me. It brought up so many emotions about trust, betrayal, and the strength we find when we are backed into a corner. I know many of you have faced bosses who belittled you or partners who underestimated you. We often think we are weak because we love or because we trust, but this story is proof that our intuition is our superpower. Never ignore that little voice in your head that says something is wrong. I pour my heart and soul into these stories every single day because I want to create a space where we can share these experiences, learn from them, and support each other. But this channel is still very young, like a sapling that needs water to grow. I need your help and your wisdom. Please write honestly in the comments. Did you suspect Sterling from the beginning? Have you ever had a gut feeling that saved you from a bad situation? What can I improve in my storytelling to make it even better for you? Your opinion is the law here. I read every single comment. And if Serafina's bravery touched your heart today, if you felt her fear and her triumph, please support my hard work by subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button. Let's build the warmest, strongest circle of friends right here. Thank you for listening. I appreciate every single one of you. You are not alone.